The rain hammered down on the rooftop bar like it was trying to drown out the city's secrets, but Elias Hawthorne's voice cut through anyway, slurred and sharp as a shattered bottle. God, Ronan, I've been in love with you since the day you tore my pitch apart in that boardroom. Your eyes on me like I was the only mistake worth fixing. He clamped a hand over his mouth too late, the words already spilling into the humid Seattle night, and across the table, his boss's whiskey glass froze midway to his lips, those steel-gray eyes locking on Elias with the cold precision of a storm cloud about to break. Ronan Blackwell didn't flinch, didn't blink, but something fractured in the set of his jaw, a hairline crack in the armor he'd built over 35 years of boardrooms and betrayals. The bars just hummed on, oblivious, as Elias's heart slammed against his ribs like a trapped bird, the tequila burning regrets up his throat. In that suspended second, the world narrowed to the space between them. Two men who'd circled each other for months in the glass towers of evergreen tech, now teetering on the edge of a confession that could topple everything. Elias stumbled back from the table, knocking over a stool that clattered like thunder in the downpour outside. Rain slicked his button-down shirt to his skin, turning the fabric translucent against his lean frame, but he didn't care. All he could feel was the heat of Ronan's gaze boring into him, unreadable as the fog rolling in from Puget Sound. "Forget I said that," Elias muttered, voice cracking like the ice in their abandoned drinks. But the words hung there, heavy and irrevocable, as he bolted for the fire escape, leaving his boss alone with the ghost of a truth neither had asked for. The elevator ride up to the 32nd floor of Evergreen Tech's headquarters the next morning felt like ascending into Judgment Day. Elias pressed his forehead against the cool mirrored wall, willing the nausea from last night's tequila binge to subside, but it clung to him like the damp chill of Seattle's perpetual drizzle. His reflection stared back. Dark circles under green eyes, stubble shadowing a jaw that hadn't seen a razor since dawn. Fair skin flushed with the kind of shame that no amount of coffee could wash away. 28 years old, fresh out of a nowhere town in eastern Washington called Ridge Valley, and here he was, marketing lead for one of the Pacific Northwest's rising AI firms, about to face the man who'd become both his North Star and his personal apocalypse. The doors dinged open to the open-plan office, all sleek glass partitions and humming servers disguised as modern art. Colleagues nodded hello, their keyboards clicking like distant rain on tin roofs, but Elias's world tunneled to the corner office at the far end, where Ronan Blackwell held court. The man was a legend in tech circles. 35, broad-shouldered with the kind of quiet intensity that made venture capitalists lean in. Born in the Texas Panhandle but transplanted to Seattle a decade ago after a messy divorce from a life he never talked about, Ronan had built Evergreen from a garage startup into a powerhouse. His reputation preceded him, brilliant, demanding, with eyes like polished slate that could dissect a flawed algorithm or a faltering intern in seconds. Cold, they called him. Untouchable. Elias had idolized him from day one, 6 months ago when he'd landed the job straight out of grad school at the University of Washington. Ronan's feedback sessions were brutal poetry. "Your visuals are vivid, Hawthorne, but they lack soul. Give me heart, not just pixels." Elias would leave those meetings buzzing, replaying the gravel in Ronan's voice, the way his tailored shirts strained across his chest when he gestured at projections. It started as admiration, morphed into late-night fantasies over takeout ramen in his cramped Capitol Hill apartment. But last night, at the team-building mixer atop the Edgewater Hotel, one too many shots had turned fantasy into fiasco. He approached the office door like it was a guillotine, knuckles rapping softly before he pushed inside. Ronan sat behind a desk of reclaimed Pacific oak, sunlight slanting through floor-to-ceiling windows to gild his close-cropped black hair with unexpected warmth. He was scrolling through reports on a triple-monitor setup, tie loosened just enough to hint at the man beneath the executive armor. Tan skin from weekend hikes in the Cascades, a faint scar along his jaw from some boyhood scrape in Amarillo. He didn't look up immediately, and in that pause Elias's pulse thundered. "Morning, Hawthorne," Ronan said finally, voice even as lake water, but his fingers tightened on the mouse. "Coffee?" Elias nodded mutely, sinking into the leather chair opposite, The steam from the mug Ronan slid across the desk, curling like smoke signals. Up close, Ronan's cologne, cedar and salt air, hit him like a wave, stirring memories of the rooftop. Laughter from the team, the city lights blurring below, and then that fatal lean-in over shared appetizers. About last night, Elias started, words tumbling out before he could stopper them. I was wasted. Tequila talks bullshit. Ignore it. All of it. Ronan's gaze lifted then, pinning Elias in place. Those gray eyes held no mockery, no disdain, just a depth that made Elias's chest ache with the weight of unspoken histories. Drunk words are sober thoughts, or so they say, Ronan replied, leaning back, the chair creaking under his solid frame. He was built like a ranch hand who'd traded spurs for spreadsheets. Broad hands veined from years of manual labor before tech called him north. But we're professionals, Eli. Water under the bridge. The use of his nickname, Eli, slipped in once during a late-night crunch, sent a shiver down Elias's spine. He forced a laugh, brittle as autumn leaves. Yeah, pros. Got the quarterly campaign revisions ready. Focused on user empathy this time, heart, like you said. They dove into work, the rhythm familiar. Ronan's sharp questions pulling gold from Elias's ideas, their banter a careful dance around the elephant in the room. But beneath the spreadsheets, tension simmered. Elias caught Ronan glancing at him. Once when he stretched for a whiteboard marker, shirt riding up to expose a sliver of pale midriff. Again when he laughed at a dry joke about buggy code. Each look lingered a beat too long, stirring something primal in Elias's gut. By noon, the office buzzed with lunch chatter, but Elias lingered, packing files with deliberate slowness. You heading out? Ronan asked, shrugging into his wool overcoat, the fabric whispering against his shoulders. Grabbed a sandwich. Rain's picking up. Might work through. He just didn't trust his legs to carry him away without crumbling. Ronan paused at the door, rain pattering against the glass like impatient fingers. Walk with me to the garage. My driver's early. The elevator descent was torture. Mirrors reflecting their side-by-side silence. Ronan's arm brushing Elias's in the confined space, sending sparks up his skin. In the underground lot, the air smelled of oil and wet concrete, luxury sedans gleaming under fluorescent strips. Ronan's black Audi waited like a sleek predator. Thanks for handling last night, Elias said, shoving hands into his pockets to hide their tremble. I value this job. You, the team. Ronan's key fob chirped, lights flashing. He turned, closer than necessary, his height forcing Elias to tilt his chin up. Rainwater dripped from the ceiling, pooling at their feet. Eli, Ronan said, voice low, threaded with something raw. What if I don't want to forget? The words hung electric. Elias's breath caught, heart slamming like bass in a dive bar. Ronan's hand lifted, hesitant, calloused fingers grazing Elias's jaw, thumb tracing the line of his stubble. Time fractured. The scar on Ronan's lip from that old fight, the faint Texas drawl creeping into his vowels under stress. Elias leaned in, or maybe Ronan did, their breaths mingling in the dim light. Then headlights swept the garage, a security cart rumbling past. Ronan jerked back, face shuddering like a storm front. Get in, he muttered, yanking open the passenger door. I'll drop you home. The drive through downtown Seattle was a blur of wipers slapping rain, neon signs bleeding color across the windshield. Elias's apartment in a converted warehouse loomed on the edge of Belltown, all exposed brick and harbor views. Ronan parallel parked with practiced ease, engine idling like a held breath. Ronan, Elias started, but the older man cut him off, gray eyes fixed on the dash. Go inside, Eli, before we both do something stupid. The dismissal stung, but beneath it lurked hunger, a mirror to Elias's own. He fled into the rain, key fumbling in the lock, collapsing against the door once inside. The apartment echoed empty. Plants wilting on the sill, a half-read novel on the couch from his last failed date with a barista named Theo. Elias slid to the floor, head in hands, the ghost of Ronan's touch burning like brand. What had he unleashed? A confession born of liquor, now clawing its way into daylight. Across town, in his sleek condo overlooking Elliott Bay, Ronan poured a second scotch, the amber liquid swirling like Elias's eyes in memory. He paced the hardwood, city lights mocking him through rain-streaked glass. 10 years since he'd last let a man close. Back in Austin, before the whispers, the fallout, the marriage of convenience to bury it all. Evergreen was his fortress, control his creed. But Eli Hawthorne, with his earnest fire and quiet storms, had breached the walls with 3 slurred words. Ronan sank onto the leather sofa, photo from his desk in hand. Him at 25, arms slung around a college buddy in a dusty Texas field, both grinning with the reckless freedom of youth unscarred. The buddy was gone now. Cancer, quick and cruel. And with him, Ronan's last tether to that softer self. He traced the faded image, throat tight. Eli's confession echoed. Love, raw and unarmored. Could he risk it again? The board meeting tomorrow loomed, investors circling like vultures, but all Ronan saw was green eyes in the rain. Night deepened, rain a relentless lullaby. In separate beds, 2 men lay awake, threads of want weaving tighter, pulling them toward a collision neither could evade. Elias dreamed of Texas sun on pale skin, Ronan of Seattle fog parting to reveal a heart he'd long thought lost. Dawn crept in, gray and unforgiving, promising complications neither was ready for. But want, once voiced, demanded reckoning. Monday bled into Tuesday with the monotony of Seattle's steel skies, but for Elias, every hour crackled with anticipation. The office hummed its usual symphony, phones trilling, printers whirring, the distant clatter of the coffee machine like a faulty heartbeat. But his focus splintered, snagging on glimpses of Ronan. The man striding through the bullpen in a charcoal suit, barking orders at the dev team. Pausing by the window to sip black coffee, profile etched sharp against the marine layer rolling in from the sound. Elias buried himself in revisions, fingers flying over his laptop in a corner cubicle adorned with indie band posters and a wilting fern from his mom back in Ridge Valley. Keep it together, he whispered to the screen, but his mind replayed the garage moment on loop. Ronan's thumb on his jaw, rough and reverent, the almost kiss aborted by headlights. Had it been pity, curiosity, or the same forbidden spark that had kept Elias up, sheets twisted, imagining hands mapping uncharted skin? By mid-afternoon, a ping from the internal chat yanked him back. Blackwell, Hawthorne, my office. Now, stomach twisting, Elias smoothed his Henley. Casual Friday bleeding into the week, and approached the glass lair. Ronan was on a call, pacing, voice a low rumble that vibrated through the floor. He waved Elias in, gesturing to the couch while he wrapped up with a Tokyo client, something about API integrations and market penetration. Elias perched on the edge, knees bouncing, inhaling the room's scent. Leather, ink, and that damn cedar cologne. When Ronan hung up, he didn't sit, just leaned against the desk, arms crossed over his chest. The white shirt pulling taut across pecs honed from pre-dawn gym sessions. The empathy module's gold, Ronan said, no preamble. Investors ate it up this morning. You're pitching lead at the summit next month. Relief flooded Elias, chased by confusion. Wait, me? I thought that was Jensen's slot. Jensen's out, family emergency in Maine. Ronan's tone was neutral, but his eyes traced Elias's face, lingering on the curve of his lips. You earned it. Heart. Remember? The callback to their sessions twisted something deep in Elias's chest. He stood, closing the distance to hand over a flash drive, fingers brushing Ronan's in the exchange. Electricity arced. Unspoken. Thanks. Means a lot. Coming from you. Ronan's breath hitched, almost imperceptible. Dinner tonight. To celebrate. My treat, non-negotiable. It wasn't a question, and Elias's yes tumbled out before doubt could claw it back. 6 o'clock sharp, they met in the lobby, Ronan in jeans and a cashmere sweater that hugged his frame like a lover's promise. Elias in his best Oxford and slacks. The rain had paused, leaving streets slick and shining. Strings of holiday lights early in Pioneer Square twinkling like hesitant stars. They walked to a hole-in-the-wall Italian spot, Illinois Porto, tucked between breweries, dim lamps, checkered cloths, the air thick with garlic and red wine. Over plates of carbonara and tiramisu, conversation flowed easier than Elias expected. Ronan's dry humor cracking through his reserve, stories of coding marathons in a sweltering Austin attic. Elias sharing Ridge Valley tales, snowy football games, his first crush on the quarterback who never knew, the ache of small-town closets. "You're brave," Ronan said over espresso, stirring sugar with deliberate circles. His knee pressed against Elias's under the table, warm and insistent. "Coming out young. I waited. Too long." The admission hung, fragile. Elias's fork stilled. Waited for what? Gray eyes met green, raw. For a world that didn't exist yet. Ronan's hand covered Elias's on the tablecloth, thumb stroking knuckles in a rhythm that echoed heartbeats. "Eli, last night, a busker outside struck up a saxophone wail, mournful and piercing, slicing the moment. Ronan withdrew, signaling for the check, but the touch lingered like an imprint. They stepped into the night, shoulders brushing as they navigated cobblestones toward Elias's place, closer than Ronan's condo. "Walk you up?" Ronan murmured, voice gravel rough. At the door, under the awning's shelter, rain resuming in spits, Elias turned. "Come in. Coffee. Or whatever." Ronan's hesitation was a lifetime, eyes searching, then softening. "Whatever," he echoed, stepping inside. The apartment was a snapshot of Elias's chaos. Books stacked like Jenga towers, a guitar gathering dust in the corner, harbor lights flickering through salt-fogged windows. Coffee forgotten, they gravitated to the couch, knees touching, the air thickening with unsaid wants. Ronan's hand found Elias's nape, pulling him close. Their kiss ignited slow, exploratory, lips tentative, then hungry, tongues tracing apologies and admissions. Elias melted into it, fingers threading Ronan's hair, tasting whiskey and want on his breath. Ronan's hands roamed, down Elias's back, under his shirt, calluses scraping sensitive skin, drawing gasps. "God, Eli," Ronan breathed against his throat, nipping the pulse point. "You undo me." They tumbled toward the bedroom, shedding clothes like old skins. Elias's shirt pooling on the floor, revealing the lean lines of a runner's body, freckles dusting his fair shoulders. Ronan's sweater yanked off to expose tan torso, a faint trail of dark hair vanishing into low-slung jeans. The bed creaked under them, sheets cool against heated flesh, bodies aligning in a dance of rediscovery. Ronan's mouth mapped Elias's chest, reverent, teeth grazing nipples until Elias arched, keening. Hands everywhere, Elias palming Ronan's erection through denim, eliciting a growl. Ronan sliding fingers into Elias's waistband, stroking with expert pressure that buckled knees. They moved as one, friction building to frenzy. Jeans discarded, skin on skin, Ronan's weight pinning Elias in the best way, thrusts measured, then desperate. Climax shattered them. Elias crying out Ronan's name, Ronan burying his face in Elias's neck, shuddering release. After, they lay tangled, breaths sinking, Ronan's fingers tracing lazy patterns on Elias's hip. "Stay," Elias whispered, vulnerability cracking his voice. Ronan pressed a kiss to his temple. "Not going anywhere." But as sleep claimed Elias, Ronan's eyes stayed open, staring at the ceiling cracks, ghosts of old betrayals whispering doubts. Morning light filtered through blinds, gilding sweat-damp sheets. Elias woke to Ronan dressing, back turned, broad shoulders tense, jeans zipped with finality. "Early meeting," Ronan said, not meeting his eyes. Lock up when you leave. The door clicked shut like a verdict. Elias curled into the pillow, inhaling Ronan's scent, heart fracturing. Was this the start, or the stumble before the fall? Across the bay, Ronan gripped the steering wheel white-knuckled, radio droning NPR on autonomous vehicles. The night replayed. Eli's moans, his trust, the terrifying tenderness. His phone buzzed, a text from his ex-wife, Claire, forwarded from their shared lawyer. Divorce papers finalized. Freedom, Ron. Freedom. But at what cost? The office awaited, a minefield of prying eyes, and beneath it all, a fear older than tech booms. Love as the ultimate vulnerability. Elias arrived late, rumpled and radiant, colleagues none the wiser. But in the break room, Jensen, back early, sharp-eyed from Maine, clapped his shoulder. Heard you snagged the summit gig. Blackwell playing favorites. The jab landed like a hook. Elias forced a grin. Just good work. But seeds of unease took root. That evening, alone with takeout, Elias scrolled old emails. Ronan's clipped praises, a hoarded photo from the company picnic. Ronan laughing, arm around his waist in a rare candid. Hope flickered, fragile as bioluminescent plankton in the dark. Ronan, in his condo, poured bourbon, staring at the bay's black mirror. Eli's confession had cracked him open. Last night sealed it. But dawn brought reality. Power imbalances, office politics, his own scarred heart. Could he bridge the gulf? The week unfolded in stolen moments. Lingering glances in meetings, a brushed hand in the supply closet, texts laced with double meaning. Thinking of you in that Henley. Elias bloomed under it, colors sharpening, but Ronan withdrew by degrees, excuses piling like autumn leaves. Friday brought the fracture. Team happy hour at a Queen and pub, craft beers flowing, laughter echoing off exposed beams. Elias arrived buzzing, spotting Ronan at the bar, nursing a stout. Hey, he said, sliding onto the stool, thigh pressing Ronan's. Ronan's smile was tight. Hey, then, lower, we need to talk. The words iced Elias's veins. They slipped outside to the alley, rain-slick bricks closing in. This, us, it's complicating things, Ronan said, voice strained. The summit's huge. Can't risk distraction. Distraction? Elias's laugh was bitter. That's what I am? No. Ronan reached, but Elias flinched. Eli, it's me. I'm broken at this. Last time I let someone in. A car horn blared, headlights sweeping the alley like an accusation. Jensen emerged from the pub door, cigarette in hand, eyes narrowing at the tableau. Everything good, boss? Ronan's hand dropped. Fine. Just air. To Elias, go back in. We'll talk later. But later never came. Jensen's knowing smirk lingered through the night, whispers starting by closing time. Elias nursed a pint alone, betrayal's first taste sour on his tongue. Ronan slipped out early, leaving a text. Sorry. Call you soon. Soon stretched to silence. Elias's apartment felt cavernous. The bed a battlefield of rumpled sheets mocking his solitude. He called his best friend, Miles, back in Ridge Valley. A burly mechanic with a heart of gold who'd held him through his first breakup. Sounds like classic avoidance. Miles drawled over the line, twang thick as molasses. Push him, Eli. Or walk. Walking wasn't an option. Ronan's pull was gravity. Saturday dawned gray. Elias hiking alone in Discovery Park. Towering cedars dripping mist. Waves crashing like unresolved arguments. He texted Ronan, we need to talk. My place. 7? The reply, can't. Work. Elias checked LinkedIn. Ronan at a networking gala in Bellevue. Schmoozing in a tux that probably cost his rent. Rage simmered, spilling into voicemail. If I'm just a distraction, say it, but don't ghost me like some intern fuck-up. No response. Sunday, Elias threw himself into summit prep, ideas flowing fierce, campaigns blending AI ethics with human connection, visuals of diverse faces in codes glow. Monday, Ronan summoned him again, door closed, expression unreadable. "Your pitch is fire," Ronan said, handing back marked-up boards. "But tone down the vulnerability angle. Clients want strength, not feels." Elias snatched the papers. "That what you told yourself last week?" Ronan's jaw clenched. "Eli, Jensen knows." The words exploded. "Saw us. Happy now? Your precious control intact." Pale under the tan, Ronan sank into his chair. "What did he say?" "Nothing. Yet." Elias paced, green eyes flashing. "But it'll spread. Unless you shut this down for good." The silence stretched, taut as a wire. Ronan's hand raked through his hair. "I never meant." "To what? Care?" Elias's voice broke. "I confess drunk because it was true. Sober, it's truer. But if you're too scared." "I'm terrified," Ronan admitted, voice raw, standing to close the gap. His hands framed Elias's face, thumbs wiping at unshed tears. "Lost everything once. Can't lose this empire too." "Then don't." Elias surged up, kissing him fierce, pouring frustration and forgiveness into it. Ronan groaned, yielding, bodies crashing together against the desk. Files scattering, mouths devouring, hands desperate. They broke apart gasping, foreheads pressed. "Your place," Ronan rasped. "Now." The drive was a haze, parking haphazard, stairs taken two at a time. Inside, urgency consumed them. Clothes ripped, skin bared, Ronan lifting Elias against the wall, legs wrapping waist, thrusts deep and claiming. They collapsed to the rug, rolling, Elias topping now, riding the wave of Ronan's surrender, cries mingling with the rain's tattoo. Spent, curled on the floor, Ronan traced Elias's spine. "I want this." But slow, discreet. Elias nodded into his chest, heartbeat lulling him. "Slow's fine, as long as it's real." But reality intruded Wednesday, Jensen cornering Elias in the server room. "Cozy with the boss, huh?" "Careful, Ronan's got a type. Ambitious. Disposable." The seed of doubt bloomed thorned. That night, Elias pried. "Past?" "Before Claire." Ronan's face shuddered over wine. "Ancient history. Doesn't matter." It did. Whispers grew. Colleagues side-eyeing, emails CC'd oddly. Friday, the summit loomed, Elias's pitch the centerpiece. Rehearsal in the boardroom, Ronan's feedback sharp. "Too emotional. Harden it." Hurt flared. "Or are you just hardening yourself?" Ronan sighed. "It's business, Eli." The chasm widened. Saturday gala, Elias not invited, watching Ronan's Instagram stories. Him charming a venture capitalist, arm around a sharp-suited advisor named Cole, laugh lines crinkling. Jealousy gnawed, irrational but insistent. Sunday call to Miles. "He's pulling away again. Protect yourself, kid. Love's a gamble, but not with your soul." Monday pitch day. Elias nailed it, voice steady, slides pulsing with heart despite edits. Applause thundered. Ronan's nod from the head table a bomb. Post-pitch drinks, Ronan pulled him aside. "Proud of you. Dinner." Hope reignited. But Jensen's text buzzed Elias's phone mid-toast. "Ask your boss about Austin. Truth hurts." Dread coiled. That night, over steak at Canlis, city lights sprawling below, Elias confronted. What happened in Austin? With whoever? Ronan's fork stilled, face ashen. "Eli, please, tell me." Voice steel. A beat. Betrayal. Partner sold me out, stole code, tanked my first startup. Came out in the fallout. Lost friends, family fractured. Claire was cover. The pieces slotted, coldness as scar tissue. Elias reached across. "I'm not him. I know." Ronan's grip tightened. But trust is earned slow. They made love that night in Ronan's condo. Gentle, exploratory. Ronan opening like a fist unclenching, whispering vulnerabilities between kisses. Dawn found them entwined, promises murmured. But Tuesday brought the storm. HR email, anonymous complaint, inappropriate conduct between exec and subordinate. Ronan's office, door locked, fury etched. Jensen, he growled. Elias's world tilted. What now? Deny. Fight. Ronan's kiss was fierce. For us. The battle lines drew, love's fragile bridge trembling under fire. The HR investigation unfolded like a slow-bleed thriller, each email and interview a fresh cut. Evergreen's corridors, once alive with innovation's hum, now whispered with speculation. Glances darting like minnows in a current, keyboards pausing mid-keystroke when Elias passed. He kept his head high, fair cheeks burning under the scrutiny, green eyes fixed on the horizon of his monitor, where campaign metrics danced indifferently to personal tempests. Ronan moved like a general in siege. Meetings with legal, discreet lunches with board allies, his corner office a war room of redacted files and cooling coffee. Yet in stolen moments, the brush of fingers in the stairwell, a heated gaze across conference tables, their connection pulsed, defiant. We're solid, Ronan murmured one evening, pulling Elias into a supply closet, mouths crashing in a kiss that tasted of mint and desperation. They'll see it's baseless. But doubt crept in like fog off the bay. Jensen's smug silences in the break room, his casual "how's the boss treating you?" laced with barbs. Elias dug late nights, scouring old tech forums under aliases, unearthing Austin ghosts. Ronan's first venture, Nexus Code, imploding in scandal, co-founder Harlan Tate accused of IP theft, outing Ronan in vicious blogs. Queer CEO sinks ship, one headline sneered. No wonder the walls. Elias confronted Ronan over takeout in his apartment, containers steaming on the coffee table amid scattered scripts. Why didn't you tell me about Harlan? Ronan's chopsticks snapped midair, soy sauce splattering. It's buried. For a reason. Buried doesn't mean gone. Elias's voice softened, hand on Ronan's knee. I need all of you. Scars too. Gray eyes stormy, Ronan set down the sticks. He was everything, first love, partner in code and bed. We built Nexus in my garage, dreams big as Texas sky. Then he sold the core algorithm to a rival, pocketed millions, left me with lawsuits and a closet door kicked wide. Family cut ties. Dad called it that lifestyle choice. Claire. She was safe harbor. Until she wasn't. The vulnerability cracked Elias open. He pulled Ronan close, lips brushing temple. I'm not Harlan. Or a choice. You're my risk? Ronan whispered, turning the embrace to fire. Hands stripping tees, bodies aligning on the rug, slow grinds building to release. After, Ronan's head on Elias's chest, heartbeat a lullaby. Fight with me. Always. HR dragged into week 2, interviews sterile as operating theaters. Elias sat ramrod in a conference room, recounting the complaint's vagueness, professional mentorship. While inside, panic clawed. Ronan followed, unflinching, slander, jealous subordinate. Jensen's turn came, oily charm intact. Whispers leaked. He'd claimed witnessing inappropriate advances, citing the alley, the gala proximity. Retaliation brewed, Ronan greenlighting a code audit on Jensen's projects. Anomalies surfacing like barnacles. Friday Eve. Reprieve. HR cleared them. Insufficient evidence. Warning on fraternization policies. Relief party erupted in the lounge. Beers cracked. Toasts to team resilience. Ronan sidled to Elias amid the chaos. Breath hot on ear. My place. Celebrate properly. The condo gleamed under city lights. Bay a black silk expanse. Wine flowed. Inhibitions melting. They danced to low jazz from Ronan's vintage turntable, bodies swaying, hips grinding subtle promises. Bedroom beckoned, sheets whispering surrender. Ronan on his back, Elias above, pace teasing, drawing pleas from stone lips. Love you, Elias gasped at crest, words slipping unbidden. Ronan stilled beneath him, eyes wide. Then, Fierce, love you too. The admission shattered barriers, thrusts renewing with abandon. Climax a shared supernova. Post-bliss, tangled limbs, Ronan traced Elias's freckles. Move in. After the holidays. Elias's heart soared. Yes. Idol shattered Monday. Board email. Emergency session. Leadership concerns. Ronan emerged ashen. Ty askew. Investors spooked by the drama. Want assurances, no distractions. Elias's stomach plummeted. Us is fine. But Jensen's pushing for my seat. Quiet coup. Backed by old Austin connections. Ronan's laugh was hollow. Harlan's ghost circling. Rage ignited. Elias stormed Jensen's desk post-lunch. Voice low thunder. Back off, or your skeletons air out. Jensen leaned back. Smirk venomous. Skeletons? Like your bosses? Harlan was my cousin, Hawthorne. Blood calls to blood. The revelation landed like a gut punch. Elias reeled to the rooftop, wind whipping off the sound, tears stinging. Betrayal layered. Jensen's vendetta, rooted in family grudge. He texted Ronan, Jensen's Harlan's cousin, knew all along. Ronan's reply, meeting now, stay put. But Elias fled, driving aimless through Fremont. Troll statues leering, canals mirroring turmoil. Phone buzzed, Miles.
Spill.
Over speaker, Elias unloaded. It's poisoned, Miles. Love in a viper pit. Poison's got antidote. Trust your gut. And him. Gut led home, where Ronan waited on the stoop, rain beating on leather jacket. Talked to the board. Jensen's out. Ethics violation, leaking proprietary shit. Elias sagged against him. It's over. For him. Not us. Ronan's kiss sealed it, rain mingling salt. Winter deepened. Seattle's holidays a glitter of resilience. They strung lights in Elias's apartment. Ronan cursing tangles, Elias laughing till breathless. Christmas Eve. Ronan's family ranch invite. Texas. Meet the folks. If you're ready. Nerves knotted Elias's flight south. Dry plains unfolding below, heart hammering. Amarillo Airport, Ronan's truck rumbling pickup, hand on thigh the whole drive to the Blackwell spread. Sprawling acres, longhorns lowing, the house a weathered Victorian with wraparound porch. Ronan's dad, Harlan Sr. No relation, iron gray hair, calloused hands, greeted stiff. Heard about the city troubles. Mom, Lila, softer, enveloped in hugs, pecan pie cooling on sill. Dinner crackled tension. Dad's probes on that tech life. Ronan's deflections, Elias's charm deflecting barbs. Post-meal, porch swing creaking. Ronan beside him, stars vast as regrets. They're trying. Dad came around after Claire, slow. Elias leaned head on shoulder. Worth it. New Year's, back in Seattle, they toasted on Ronan's balcony. Fireworks blooming over the Space Needle. Lips sealing resolutions. Love solidified, plans weaving. Joint apartment hunt in Ballard. Summit follow-ups blending work and whispers. Spring teased with crocus blooms, but shadows lingered. April, anonymous email to Elias. Grainy photo, him and Ronan in the alley, timestamped. Sender. Blocked, but watermark faint. Jensen's signature font. Panic surged. Ronan, in bed, face grim over laptop. He's desperate. Leaked to press. No hits yet, but fear chilled. They doubled down. Discrete dates in Vancouver weekends. Coded texts. Elias's therapy sessions ramped. Unpacking Ridge Valley closets. Ronan joined once, voice cracking on Harlan's ghost. May Summit in San Francisco. Elias keynoting, Ronan in audience, pride radiant. Post-speech, hotel suite celebration. Champagne fizzing, bodies celebrating in silk sheets. Ronan's mouth worshipping every inch. Elias's cries echoing off Golden Gate views. Return flight, turbulence mirroring innards. Marry me, Ronan murmured mid-air. Ring box glimpsed in pocket. Simple platinum. Engraved undo me. Tears pricked. Yes. June wedding planning. Small. Beachside in Oregon dunes. Miles' best man. Lila matron. But July heatwave brought heat lightning. Board revolt. Jensen. Rehired via proxy ally. Surfacing evidence. Forged docs implying Ronan's instability. Coup crested in boardroom showdown. Ronan, sleeves rolled, dismantling lies with data daggers. Elias watched via video link, heart in throat.
Victory, Jensen ousted permanent, Ronan réaffirme de CEO.
Elation crashed into aftershock. Ronan, home late, scotch-scented. It's done, but cost us. Board's watching closer now. Elias pulled him to bed, hands soothing. We won. August waned. Rings exchanged in secret dune vows. Waves crashing amen. Sand gritting knees as they consummated under stars. Love a tide pulling eternal. Fall-colored leaves gold, but autumn winds carried chill. September, Elias's promotion, VP marketing, shared office hinting domesticity. Yet Ronan's late nights stretched, stress etching lines. Just closing the quarter, he'd say, but eyes distant. October, betrayal's echo. Leaked photo hits tech rags. Evergreen CEOs of fair rocks firm. Stocks dip, protests outside. Queer activists cheering, purists picketing. Ronan's stonewalled press, but fractures showed. Arguments flaring over dinner. Elias accusing withdrawal. Ronan snapping fatigue. I built this for us. Can't lose it. November rain lashed windows as Elias packed a bag. Space. To breathe. Ronan's plea. Don't. Please. Door shut. Elias to Miles's couch in Ridge Valley. Fields frosted. Heart numb. Calls daily. Ronan's voicemails raw. Come back. I need you. Week 3. Ronan arrived unannounced. Truck mud-spattered. Eyes hollow. Fixed it. Public statement. I'm gay. Proud, partnered. Board back down. Elias's dam broke. Why now? Because losing you? That's the real empire fall. Embrace fierce. Drive back under harvest moon. Reconciliation in a roadside motel. Urgent. Healing. Bodies reaffirming vows. Winter returned, stronger. December. Official wedding. Maine Coast. Haven Point Cliffs. Family mended. Harlan Sr. toasting gruff. To risks worth taking. Vows exchanged. Rings gleaming. Love's arc bending toward light. But humanism's thread. In quiet moments, Ronan confessed, you taught me freedom's not solitary. Elias, compassion's our identity. Seattle embraced them. Parades, headlines fading to acceptance. Years blurred. Adopted kid from the res. House in Madrona with garden. Evergreen thriving ethical. Yet the drunken night lingered. First spark of a fire that warmed through storms. Message etched. Love demands courage, betrayal tempers, but truest self endures. The wedding's afterglow lingered like champagne bubbles on the tongue, but Seattle's January bite sharpened edges unseen. Elias and Ronan's new home in Madrona's tree-lined streets. A craftsman bungalow with creaky floors and a kitchen island scarred from shared breakfasts, became sanctuary. Mornings started tangled in flannel sheets. Ronan's stubble rasping Elias's neck. Coffee brewing to jazz from the old turntable. Mr. Hawthorne Blackwell? Ronan teased one dawn, nuzzling collarbone. Has a ring to it. Elias laughed, swatting playfully. Hyphenates pretentious. Pick one. Blackwell suits you. Strong, unyielding. Ronan's hand slid lower, igniting slow burn. Bodies waking fully under winter sun slanting through lace curtains. They moved lazy, familiar. Elias arching into thrusts. Gasps sinking with rain patter. Climax a shared sigh. Post-shower, over eggs and toast. Plans unfolded. Adopting Kai. A lanky 15-year-old from the Maka Reservation. Foster stint turning permanent. He needs stability, Elias said, scrolling profiles. Like we did. Ronan's nod was thoughtful, fork pausing. Yeah, but board's antsy. Public coming out boosted stock, but family? Optics. Elias's fork clattered. Optics? Kai's a kid, not a PR stunt. Wasn't, Ronan sighed, raking hair. Just, caution. After Jensen. The name soured milk. Jensen exiled to a Boise startup, but tentacles lingered. Occasional snide LinkedIn posts, shadows in earnings calls. Elias softened, hand over Ronan's. We're past that. Build forward. Evergreen burgeoned. AI for social good. Ethics modules. Elias championed rolling global. Ronan keynote Davos. Elias beside. Hand in his undertables. Pride swelling at applause. Return. Kai's visit. Shy teen with braids and wary eyes. Bonding over video games in the den. Ronan's awkward dad jokes cracking shells. February's Valentine's. Surprise weekend in New Orleans. Ronan's concession to Elias's jazz obsession. Bourbon Street pulsed neon. Beignet sugaring fingers. Horse-drawn carriage rides under live oaks dripping Spanish moss. Hotel balcony, saxophone wailing below. They made love urgent against wrought iron. Ronan's hands pinning wrists. Elias's legs hooked heels. Cries lost in brass swells. Forever, Ronan growled at peak, and Elias believed. March thawed, cherry blossoms dusting Capitol Hill. Kai moved in officially room-painted navy posters of space missions curling walls. Family dinners awkward then easy. Kai's stories of res life, Elias's Ridge Valley yarns, Ronan's Texas tall tales. Bedtimes, Ronan reading sci-fi aloud, voice gravel soothing nightmares. But April showers bred May storms. Anonymous tip to SEC. Irregularities in Evergreen's early funding. Harlan's old theft, dredged. Investigation loomed. Ronan pacing nights. Scotch his companion. If it sticks, we're done, he muttered, shadows hollowing cheeks. Elias pulled him to bed. We'll fight. Together. Probe dragged summer. Depositions in sterile rooms. Lawyers circling like gulls. Kai sensed tension, withdrawing to headphones. Elias mediated, heart aching. July heatwave, family hike in Olympics. Ancient cedars towering, waterfalls misting, momentary peace. Ronan hoisting Kai piggyback, laughter echoing. August verdict. Cleared, Harlan's sins not theirs. Relief party at home. Miles flying in, Lila's pies airshipped, toasts clinking. That night, guest room empty. They claimed the master fierce. Ronan taking Elias against the headboard. Slow rolls building to frenzy. Kai's future a vow in every thrust. Fall harvest, Kai's school play. Awkward teen as Hamlet, Elias filming teary. Ronan clapping loudest. Thanksgiving in Texas. Blackwell Ranch aglow. Dad's handshake firm. Proud, son. Return drive. Elias asleep shoulder. Ronan whispered. You mended us. December holidays. Tree trimming chaos. Kai stringing lights crooked. Ornaments shattering giggles. Christmas morn. Gifts unwrapped. Elias's leather journal from Ronan. Inscribed our story. Penned true. Love's quiet profundity. But January's eve, 2-year anniversary. Shadow fell. Email from Cole, the gala advisor. Sharp-suited opportunist. Meeting invite. Urgent evergreen matter.
Ronan attended solo, returning hollow-eyed, tie discarded.
Cole's pitching merger, big money, but strings. Board push. Elias, over Coco. What strings? Rebrand. Tone down the woke initiatives, your ethics stuff. Ronan's jaw tight. Refuse, they walk. Fury boiled. Sell out? After everything. It's business, Eli. Echo of old fights. Bed cold that night. Elias on couch, scrolling adoption papers, heart leaden. Morning reconciliation. Ronan's arms circling from behind. Apologies in kisses trailing spine. No merger. Your vision stays. Spring bloom tentative. Kai's birthday, 16, laser tag with friends, cake-smeared faces. Elias watched Ronan ruffle hair. Paternal glow softening lines. 37 now. Silver threading temples. Handsome as ever. June Pride Parade. Evergreen float rainbow bedecked. Kai marching beside. Sign love wins. Elias and Ronan hand in hand atop. Confetti raining. Cheers a bomb on old wounds. July heat peaked with crisis. Kai's school bully. Slurs scrawled locker. Fag dad's kid. Ronan apoplectic, meeting principal. Elias counseled Kai nights. Stories of his own youth. Hates their cage, not yours. Resolution slow, counselor sessions, ally training. Kai emerged tougher. Hugging Elias fierce. Thanks, Dad. Words slipped unprompted. Sealing bonds. August vacation. Maine coast. Haven Point Cottage. Lobster boils on pebbled beaches. Kayaks slicing fog. Nights. Kai asleep early. They walk dunes. Ronan dropping to Nianu. Renew? Every year. Elias. Tears saltier than sea. Every day. September back to school. Evergreen's annual gala. Black tie splendor. Ballroom glittering. Elias in tux. Ronan devastating in midnight blue. Dance floor there's waltz slow, bodies flush, whispers intimate. Post-gala, limo to hotel, partition up. Hands roaming, anticipation electric. Sweet opulent, they undress deliberate. Ties loosed, shirts unbuttoned pearl by pearl. Ronan's mouth following fingers down Elias's chest, knees buckling to carpet. Elias reciprocated, lips wrapping Ronan's length, drawing moans guttural. Then bed, Ronan entering slow, eyes locked, pace building to crescendo, names chanted like prayer. October's chill brought ghosts. Harlan Tate's obituary. Cancer, late stage, Boise address. Jensen's cousin, Vendetta's architect. Gone quiet. Ronan stared newsprint, complex grief etching. Hate him still, but pity too. Elias held him through night. Words soothing. Humanity's messy. Forgive for you. November elections gripped nation. Headlines divisive. Evergreen donated neutral. Staff divided. Home debates heated. Kai's activism clashing Ronan's pragmatism. Elias mediating. Thanksgiving. Ranch again. Dad's prayer inclusive. Progress palpably. December. Kai's first crush. Classmate Finn. Freckled artist. Coming out talk awkward. Ronan fumbling. Love who lights you. Elias's wink. We know. Holidays twinkled. But January's third anniversary shadowed. Cole resurfaced. Merger whisper renewed. Board fractures showing. Ronan confided over wine. Tempted. Security for Kai us. Elias's heart clenched. At what sole cost?
Argument escalated. Plătesc clattering, voices rising, că retreating had phones.
Door slam. Elias to guest room. Sobs muffled. Dawn. Ronan at threshold. Eyes red-rimmed. You're right. No deal. Embrace mending. Makeup sex tender. Fingers interlacing. Gazes holding. Release a truce. Spring cycled. Kai thriving. Debate club star. Art show budding. June wedding anniversary. Oregon dunes revisit. Vows renewed barefoot. Waves witness. July heat. Family barbecue. Miles grilling. Lila's cornbread. Laughter free. August. Kai's driving lesson. Ronan white-knuckled passenger. Elias cheering swerves. September. Evergreen crisis. Hack traced to Jensen's old firm. Data breach. Ronan war room days. Elias supporting. Kai coding fixes teen genius style. October resolution. Perps prosecuted. Company stronger. November. Kai's homecoming dance. Finn tuxedoed. Parental photos teary. December holidays peak joy, but January's dawn. For years since confession, brought test. Medical call. Ronan's checkup flagged anomaly. Heart murmur. Tests pending. Waiting room sterile. Elias's hand in his. Whatever we face. Biopsy clear, stress artifact, lifestyle tweak. Relief party small, love's resilience toasted. Years layered. Kai college bound, Seattle graying their temples, bungalow sagging beloved. Drunken words, once folly, birthed empire of heart. Compassion's quiet revolution, freedom's hard-won song, identity etched in shared scars. Yet in quiet eves, Ronan's arm around Elias on porch swing, Bay whispering below, truth endured. Accidents birth miracles, if tended with grace. Time's river carved deeper channels in their lives, the bungalow's walls absorbing echoes of milestones like a living archive. By Kai's high school graduation spring, Elias at 32 bore laugh lines bracketing green eyes. Fair skin kissed sun from weekend sails on the Sound. Ronan, 40, moved with a statesman's gravitas. Silver at temples lending gravitas. Tanned frame still commanding boardrooms, but softened in repose, reading bedtime stories long past need. Ceremony under stadium lights. Kai's diploma gripped triumphant. Finn's hand shy-laced with his. Post-party. Backyard strung lanterns. Toasts slurring sentimental. Miles booming. To the kid who hacked our hearts. Ronan pulled Elias aside. Porch shadows cloaking. You made this family. Kiss slow. Hands cupping faces. Home's warmth a cocoon. Summer postgrad. Kai's road trip with Finn. Yellowstone to Grand Canyon. Texts peppered selfies grinning. Empty nest loomed. Elias nesting projects. Novel draft on desk. Tech memoir weaving confessions arc Ronan encouraged. Beta reading nights. Red pen gentle. Raw. Real. Publish. Evergreen evolved. Nonprofit arm. AI literacy for underserved res kids. Elias spearheading. Fall keynote in Austin. Full circle. Ronan introducing. Voice thick. Eli's vision echoes my roots. Innovation with soul. Crowd thundered. But backstage, Ronan's embrace fierce. Proud. Always. October harvest. Ranch visit. Lila's quilt for Kai's dorm. Dad's gruff, scholar now, eh? Kai hugged tight. Finn included seamless. Drive home. Elias napping. Ronan radio low. Country twang evoking first confessions. Hand on thigh anchor. November chill. Kai's college drop-off. UW dorms bustling. Boxes unpacked tear-streaked. Call daily. Elias edict. Ronan chuckling. Weekly max. Empty drive back. Silence heavy. Bungalow echoed. Dinners for two. Wine deeper. Bed reclaiming intimacy. Explorations renewed. Toys from curiosity shop. Ronan's growls at Elias's wrists bound silk. Pleasure's edges sharpened. December holiday solo. Tree half-sized. Ornaments Kai's handprints faded. New Year's Eve. Balcony champagne. Fireworks bursting. Ronan's vow. Nest empty, but us fuller. Love-making marathon, every room christened, bodies mapping years. Climaxes layered like stories. January's 5th anniversary. Drunken nights echo, rooftop bar revisit. Same stools, tequila shots ritual. To accidents, Ronan toasted, gray eyes alight. Hotel adjacent, suite overlooking city. They role-played origins. Elias confessing slurred, Ronan freezing. Dissolved to passion, laughter mingling moans. Spring thawed doubts, Kai's freshman woes. Homesick calls, Finn long-distance strain. Elias mediated weekends, Ronan footing therapy. April, novel agent bites. Cinematic, American heart. Drafts flew, revisions cathartic. Pages bleeding vulnerability. Ronan's edits anchors. May evergreen scandal redux. Whistleblower alleging bias in AI ethics. Your modules, Eli. Probe internal, Ronan shielding, but press hounded. Elias testified composed. Data damning accuser. Disgruntled ex cleared, but toll mounted. Ronan's sleep fractured. Elias's manuscript stalled. June pride larger. Float grander. Kai Zoom cheering from dorm. July heat. Getaway Portland, food cart spicy, hotel tub shared, bubbles foaming as hands wandered, release lazy under jets. August, Kai's breakup, Finn's space, teen heartbreak raw, flight to Seattle, ice cream binges, Ronan's tales of Harlan bomb, pain passes, self stays, mending slow family glue. September, novel launch, confessions in code, signing Bellevue bookstore thrumming, Ronan front row, Kai beaming, sales soaring, reviews glowed, poignant queer odyssey, humanistic core, tour kicked, NYC readings, Ronan trailing, hotel nights electric, Elias reading passages aloud, arousal spiking, sex inspired by prose. October, tour climax LA, beach walk Malibu, waves lapping bare feet, Ronan's proposal redux, vows etched sand, washed but remembered, November elections quieter, home votes cast, dinner debates civil, Kai home, voice maturing. December, holidays expanded, Finn back tentative, Lila's visit, Dad's flight north, feast raucous, games till dawn, New Year's, Kai sober driving, trust earned. January 6th, manuscript sequel brewing, Ronan's sabbatical hint, travel, recharge. February, heart check annual, murmur monitored, diet tweaks, Elias cooking greens gleeful. March, Kai's internship evergreen, coding under Ronan, eyes adoring. April showers, garden planted, tomatoes Kai's, herbs Elias's, roses Ronan's, blooming metaphors. May, whistleblower trial, victory swift, company vindicated. June, wedding vow renewal. Small, dunes again, Kai officiating earnest. Vows, through betrayals we choose grace. July heat, family camp Olympic. Tents pitched, stories round fire. Ronan's Texas ghosts shared, Kai's res lore, Elias's ridge confessions. August, sequel agent yes, echoes of us. September, Kai's romance reignite, Finn's summer reconciliation, double date awkward charming. October, book tour east, Boston readings, fall foliage framing. November, ranch harvest, apples pressed cider, Dad's arm around Ronan, good life, son. December, holidays pinnacle, tree full, gifts thoughtful, Elias's watch engraved times hours. New Year's, balcony eternal. But January 7th, shadow, Ronan's chest twinge mid-run, ER dash, test swirl, angina, stents possible. Waiting sterile, Elias's hand vice, fight. Procedure success, recovery homebound, Elias nursing, Kai visits daily. Spring rehab walks, garden therapy, love's patience bloom. April, Ronan back helm tempered, delegate more, family first. May, sequel draft done, dedication, to anchors in storms. June pride, Ronan grand marshal, legacy honored. July, Kai's proposal to Finn, ring simple, family tears. August, wedding plan, small, res beach. September, vows witnessed, Kai and Finn sandtide, echoes of their own. October, tour launch sequel, acclaim doubled, themes compassion resonant. November, election night quiet, hope over division. December, expanded holidays, Finn's folks, Lila's kin, tapestry woven. January 8th, decades since confession? No, wait, math, 5 years wed, but origin drunk night 7 years prior. Reflection dinner, rooftop redux, sober toasts. You changed trajectory, Ronan said, hand clasped. Elias, we charted stars. Spring eternal, Kai's first home, nearby queen and visits constant. Summer sails, fall harvests, winter warms. Yet core, betrayals past, Jensen's fade, Harlan's mercy. Taught Tracken's depth, freedom's flight, band sax forge. Love, accidental genesis, endured humanity's quiet anthem. The bungalow stood sentinel through season's pageant, its eaves sagging under ivy like an old friend's knowing smile. Elias, at 35, wore wisdom's patina. Green eyes deeper set, fair skin etched fine by laughter's pull. Novel series now trilogy complete. Lecturing MFA hopefuls at UW on narrative vulnerability. Ronan, 42, commanded less ferociously. Delegation his art, silver-crowned head nodding sage in boardrooms. Heart stent a badge of survived tempests. Weekends volunteering code camps for LGBTQ plus youth on the res. Kai's wedding summer etched gold. Macaw Beach, tides ebbing for ceremony. Drums pulsing ancestral rhythm. Elias walked him aisle, arm linked. Whispers proud. Kai's braids adorned shells. Finn opposite in beaded vest. Vows salt wind carried. In your light, I find home. Reception fireside. Dances blending line and two-step. Ronan pulling Elias close mid-waltz. Our echo. Honeymoon there's gifted Hawaii, volcanic trails. Lava flows mirroring passions renewed. Back, empty nest fuller visits. Kaifin dinners, debates lively on AI ethics, future grandkids mused. Fall's palette turned, Elias's third book Tides of Truth, memoir fiction hybrid, Confessions Legacy. Top charts, Oprah nod viral. Tour whirlwind. Chicago readings snow-dusted. Miami sun-soaked. Ronan anchor calls nightly. Miss your voice in dark. November's chill, election fervor peaked. Evergreen neutral, but home impassioned. Kai canvassing. Ronan donating discreet. Elias penning op-eds on identity's vote. Thanksgiving potluck hybrid. Ranch flyin', Lila's yams. Finn's pie, Dad's tales spinning yarns. December holidays crescendo, tree communal trim, ornaments heirlooms. Kai's baby tooth fairy box, Elias's first edition inscribed Ronan. New Year's Eve, grown circle. Balcony crowded, toasts cascading, midnight kiss chain. January 9th, drunk confessions anniversary 11 years, rooftop ritual evolved. Now with Kai Finn, Miles toasting origins. To spills that stick, Ronan quipped, arm waist. Spring's thaw, Ronan's 60th? No, wait, 43 now, birthday surprise. Texas flyfish, Dad guiding casts, beers Brookside, ghosts Harlan laid fuller. Return, Elias's gift. Custom rod engraved cast lines, real hearts. April showers, garden riot. Tomatoes bountiful, roses thorned reminders. May, Kai's pregnancy announcement, surrogate journey shared, family swelling. June pride epic, generational float, Ronan's speech thundering, legacy is love lived loud. July heat, baby shower beach. Blues and whales theme, gifts stacked, ultrasounds past teary. August, sequel film rights. Netflix option, screenwriter gushing, cinematic soul. Casting buzz, Elias consultant, Ronan exec cameo tease. September, Harvest Festival Ranch. Cider presses, hayrides, Dad's health dip, hip surgery, but spirit bull. October, book tour finale NYC. Broadway afterparty, Ronan's stage whisper star. November, election dawn hopeful. Progress inching, home relief size. December, holidays hearth. First grandbaby due spring, tree lights haloing. January 10th, reflection deepened, Elias journaling, accident birthed intent, compassion's compass. But February frostbit, Ronan's murmur recurs, specialist consult. Tests cascade, arrhythmia, ablation scheduled. Waiting gnaws, Elias bedside vigil, Kai pacing halls. Procedure dicey, complications whisper. Or exit, Ronan pale but pulsing, tethered, recovery raw, home hospice vibe, Elias soup simmering, Kai stories distracting. March men slow, walks frail then firm, love's nurse unwavering. April, grandbaby birth. Lila May, tiny fists waving, Kai Finn beaming parents. Hospital hold, Ronan's arms cradle, cycle full, discharge home, Lila's Coos Symphony. May, film pre-pro. Table reads emotional, Elias voicing self. Tears script true. June Pride. Ronan wheelchair? No, kanedicht, straid reclaiming. July Heat. Family reunion Olympic. Tense generational. Fire's tales tripled. Lila May gurgling. August Book 4 outline. Generations gay legacy lens. September. Dad's visit. Hip mended toasts to Blackwell's bold. October. Tour light virtual heavy. Ronan podcast duo. Love's Code. Debug with heart. November. Midterms mingle. Advocacy amped. Evergreen grants queer creators. December. Holidays hub. Lila May's first snow. Tree baubles batted gleeful. January 11th. Confessions dozen years. Rooftop full circle. Tequila symbolic sips. Circle widened. Ronan. Eyes missed. You saved me, Eli. Daily. Elias. We saved each other. Spring's renewal, Lila May toddling. Kai's second on horizon. Summer sales generational. Ronan helm steady. Elias tail spinning. Kai Finn parenting tandem. Fall's wisdom. Elias 60? No 38. Ronan 45. Joint lecture series. Tech and Tales. November. Ranch legacy. Dad deeding acres. For the line. December. Holidays hearth eternal. Lights labyrinth. Songs layered. Yet climaxes echo. Jensen's final card. Letter from grave. Via lawyer. Hate was hollow. Forgive. Ronan burns at beachside. Ashes sea taken. Released. Betrayal's arc bent mercy. Conflicts forge compassion. Aging graced. 50s for Ronan, 40s Elias, silver sinking. Hands veined shared labors.
Caillès Twins arrivent, Bungalow Boom.
Film premieres. Red carpet handhold. Reviews wrapped, humanistic triumph. 60s Ronan retires partial, consultancy sage. Elias Prof Emeritus, novels canon. 70s grandkids cluster. Lila May's wedding dunes, vows echoing progenitors. 80s health duets. Joints creak tandem, travel slow. Amarillo sunsets, Seattle rains. 90s porch swing perpetual. Ronan 90, Elias 87. Hands clasped, stories retold. Centennial whispers. Ronan passes quiet, heart full circle. Elias mourns, then joins year later. Dune graves side by side. Waves eternal witness. Legacy. Kai's foundation. Books enduring, message carved. Drunken truths ignite freedoms. Betrayals teach tracken. Identities, fluid fires, warm through tempests. Love's accident. Life's deliberate grace. Humanity's undying spark.